This is the story of the one.
I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. I love my little when the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow. I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. I have traveled the world over, but never found a peace that comes from watching my fishes as they swim about their home. My heart is happy and I am content to sit and watch them swim. I will not be alone while these fishies are in my home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home.
Hey, Father Fish.
Hi, Dina.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm surviving.
That's good.
I'm breathing a little better. I was having an episode yesterday. I sat here at my desk all day, and I got sicker and sicker. And finally went home and put myself back together a little bit, but having a horrible time breathing and having spasms in my lungs and in my abdomen. So hurting. Gonna get better.
It's not comfortable at all.
Really. Anyway, happy to be here.
Definitely.
Praying to be in His Holy Spirit. Ooh. Squirt said she would enjoy a Father Fish church evening.
That would
was
be
pretty
cool.
sweet. Pretty sweet. Yeah, I would too, frankly. We need to have a pleasant evening, don't we?
Definitely.
Ooh, too much reality coming in on us.
Right?
From too many directions. Hi,
Amen to
Megan.
that.
Good to see Megan. Nice to see you. Megan's doing such a heroic job for us. It's just really remarkable. Mama sent me a DM this week. It was a clip from Dustin's.
Yeah.
I love Dustin. Dustin's a good friend. I've known Dustin for a few years. Met him, had a chance to talk with him. Super guy, great plant man, wonderful plants. He does things with plants I can't do. And beautiful stuff. And he's got beautiful plants. But he's apparently decided to package his own soil. He calls it a dirt pack, I think, some such thing. Dustin's Dirt Pack. I remember a year ago, he and I were talking about this, and he didn't really understand the importance of an enriched substrate, or at least, he said he learned a lot talking to me about it. But he now has a dirt pack. He's selling dirt, which I feel really good about because he's a very respected aquaculturist. And to have him doing what I've been doing for years simply affirms the importance and significance of what we're doing here. So that felt pretty good. Of course, he claims he's the only one selling it. Well, he's the only one selling what he's selling. I'll bet you dollars to donuts. It's not close to what we have, but that's neither here nor there. It might be better. Who knows? I haven't looked at the contents to see what he's putting together yet. Anyway, I thought that was not just interesting, but significant. I've noticed that, particularly on YouTube and around the web, that so many people have been around for a while who were really poo-pooing everything I was saying years ago are now coming full circle and adopting it, like Wallstead. Wallstead has adopted a number of the systems that I've been teaching, like enriching substrate and doing a sand cap. Now, she doesn't acknowledge that she got it from me, but she doesn't need to. I'm not looking for credit. I'm just looking to. I was thinking about this today. People have said that that I take the attitude that this is the only way to do something. Well, I knew better than that. I knew that there are any number of ways to do nearly anything, particularly in the field, in the fish hobby.
Mhm.
But what I also know is that this works. And so when I say this works, I'm not equivocating. I'm not saying, yeah, and that does too, and this and the other thing. And you might try that, and you might try that. I don't do that. I do this works. I just finished, I'm in the middle of editing an article I started writing, and one of my people rewrite it to put all kind of equivocation in about all sorts of things. Well, you can do this, but you might do that, and this will probably work too. And I just got all of that back out again, because that's not what I'm about. What I'm about is a way of doing things that I've developed that works. It's not the only thing that works, but it works. And it works successfully 100% of the time if you do it right. I was reading a comment somebody made in response to a video, typed in a comment, said their tank had gotten totally foul, blew up, stank, whatever. They did everything I said and it all went to hell. Well, nonsense. If they did everything I said, it would be fine. So they didn't do everything I said. So my response was, you ought to try it again, and this time follow directions. I know it works. I am absolutely certain about that. There's no question in my mind about it. It works 100% of the time if you do it right. Guaranteed. Absolutely does. No question. Doesn't fail, doesn't mess up. Not 1% of the time does it mess up. Now, can you mess it up? You betcha. Can you let it get screwed up as you're going down the road? You betcha. But you don't have to. You can make it work. Follow directions. It works 100% of the time. Guaranteed. Absolutely. What was that? Do that again.
Yeah, I was just storing some of the comments and questions for you for later. And I accidentally clicked it instead of starring it.
Let's see. So Father was talking about how long it takes to microorganisms come out of my dirt and throw in sand. You should not see that happen at all. Uh, what you will see is if you've got a 2-inch cap over 1 inch of soil, you'll see the microorganisms working that soil up into the sand cap, but it should only come up about halfway. Shouldn't come up higher than that. What you need to do is you can build a food web with some live culture, and then with dead culture like tree leaves, and just build that up and let that take hold and let that develop and precipitate into the sand, so you get a meeting, you get that going down into it along with the microbial life. That microbial life that's coming up is microscopic. There are no macro nutrients or macro anything in there. It's all very microbial. So you should not expect things like I don't know, scuds to emerge from the substrate. You got to put them in. They have to go in kind of from the top down, if you will, or anything else like that. Daphnia, another example that needs to go in, and you get that in by doing the food web. But the thing that I find interesting, and this is very much a work in progress, trying to understand how to really put together a system that effectively replicates natural systems. And we're doing it, kind of piece by piece and bit by bit, and putting things in place and trying to make them work. But the whole issue of the resurrection jar, which has been around now for 3 to 4 years. I think we came up with it on Easter Sunday 4 years ago. But the notion was to put it in after the tank was set up, maybe a week or two or a month later on. And then recently, a couple of people started saying, "Well, why wait? What are we waiting for? What's supposed to happen to make it work better if we wait?" And I got thinking about that and realized nothing. It's just that we didn't think about doing it until we had our tanks established, and then we put it in after they were established. But it can go in day one. It absolutely can, and is probably better for it because it gets organic life in that system instantly. So yeah, I think when you put the contents of the resurrection jar in, as soon as you put the sand cap on and put the plants in, right then, you do it right then. You do it right at the very beginning, at the top of the game. Makes perfect sense, and it's going to be a whole lot more effective because you will have seeded that system strongly and viably right away. And if you've got enough leaf culture in there to keep it going, then that's the other key. You've got to have nutrients. There have to be nutrients. The soil is nutrient rich. I mean, that's what it is. It's a powerfully nutrient rich soil such that it does not deplete. Walsta was talking about her system depleting and how she's overcoming that by adding nutrients. Well, who knew? I did. I knew. I knew 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I started doing that. And it took 10 years for her to figure out that she didn't have to smack me upside the head anymore and tell me I was too stupid to have anything like a decent idea. And how did she do it? By adopting it. Very best way to be able. That's the very best reward I could have. Mr. Armbruster is here, along with 3G. Look at this. Let's get 3G up here.
All right.
Look at this.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Beautiful.
Change the angle a little bit.
The
Hey, Father,
image-
I wanted to come up here and let you know. I don't know if you know, Bunny Viper, Miss Ivy, passed away last Thursday, I believe it was.
No, I did not.
Sorry to hear that.
Wow.
She's been a huge part of the fish family, such a
Yes,
sweet
she
soul.
has. Yes, she has. We've lost a few, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
So sorry to hear that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that, Christian.
Yeah, I hate to bring it up, but
Yeah. Well, I know. Well, my time's coming. So's everybody else's.
yes, sir.
That's
Yeah.
all of us.
I knew you'd have some words to help our soul.
She was a blessing. She was an absolute blessing. I'm trying to remember it. There's so many things about Bonnie that were so important. She had a sweet spirit and a very loving spirit, but there
Very
was a
loving.
kind of an edge to her. She had a sense of humor that was really remarkable. We will miss her. We will miss her desperately, as we've missed so many others. Lord, be with this sweet woman's spirit and just bring her into your presence. Let her be filled with your presence and with your spirit, that she may carry on in your heavenly wonder for an eternity, that we may all be joined together in the grandest celebration of all in your presence. We pray in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And in thanks for his sacrifice, that we may be in your presence. Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you. Here you go, Miss Dina.
Oh, you know what my favorite ones are?
Well, Megan says she's got contact for a bunch of these. I'm supposed to be getting some from a local shop that apparently has bred them or otherwise acquired some. So I'm looking forward to that. Megan,
Yeah.
we need to follow through on that. I really want to follow through on that. I'm not going to, that's if they've got them and want to ship them to me, I will pay whatever they ask to be able to get them. So and
There's
happily do so.
The young lady here in my town, she got a pair of glow angels right off the bat, and they bred for her, and she ended up with some babies.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And so, yeah, it's happening. There's a lot of people said they were sterile, but they're definitely not sterile.
Yeah, the people used to say that about the flower horns. I remember, and then I spawned them. A lot of other people did too.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's remarkable about all of the glowfish. They're all very fertile animals.
Yeah, they are. And it's funny that everybody thought they were sterile. I guess nature finds a way. It's kind of like Jurassic Park. It's going to find a way.
Right. And, the betta was the first glowfish they came out with, and I bred those immediately. No problem.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that was the first ones. Wow.
Well, after the original, zebras, the Daniels.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, the Daniels were the first. Then they did tetras, and then they did barbs. But the first really nice fish was the better. And I always thought that would be a spectacular fish to make a bluefish. And frankly, I was disappointed. It
Well,
didn't.
I had a Nemo. I had a male Nemo and got a female chartreuse glow.
Wow.
And I had a couple of hundred babies. Jess from the Aquatic Morning Show, she took a lot of them, and my local fish shop took a lot of them.
Is Jess still doing anything?
She is. She's she's teaching school now, and that's taking up most of her time. But now since school's out, hopefully she'll wind up again. She still has her fish room and all her fish and all the shrimp and everything. She's just life happens.
Oh, I know. Well, tell her I'd like to get some stuff from her. If she needs sales, I'm here to help. She's got nice product.
Oh yeah, she's always had really nice shrimp. And
yeah. Go back to those Ultims a minute. I want to look at those Ultims again. They're doing really well. How tall are they now?
This guy here, he's probably about 7 inches.
Wow. Wow, nice.
That's impressive.
And they're still juveniles, but they're bigger than these guys by far.
Right. They do get big. Yes, I think
sir.
That's the biggest problem people have with them is they get so big. You just really need to have them in deep water.
Exactly. Yeah, these are in a 55, and they're fixing to go to a 125 probably.
Yeah, that's what it's going to take.
And that'll probably be their forever home.
Right. Well, we're excited about seeing them breed.
Definitely.
There you go, Father Fish. Here's some of your favorite fish.
Oh, look at it. Whole tank full of monsters.
That's the spawn that's some of my. I have them in just about every tank. When you get a spawn.
Right. Yeah. Them and convicts.
Right.
Proving that you can't keep a bad fish down. Pretty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you say you had somebody else up, or did
Adam's hanging around.
I just wanted to come up and mention Bunny Viper. She would be missed for sure.
Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for having me up. I'll back on out here.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Love y'all.
Bye. Adam.
Hey man,
Hey,
I could watch 3G stuff instead. I was enjoying that.
That's some cool stuff, doesn't he?
He's the angelfish whisperer. That's what I'm calling him.
Really?
Right.
I have a mystery meal question for you. Okay, so speaking of angelfish, here's my guy Marbles. And I came out this morning and had a strange sparkle in his eye, and I was wondering why. And I came around and I found my plant kind of mowed down to a nub.
Oh, really?
And I'm wondering, so here's what begs the question now. Is he eating this because he's hungry, bored? Should I give him some kind of green plant to satisfy it so he doesn't keep mowing on my plant here?
Well, try spinach.
Spinach, yeah, one piece of raw spinach in there.
Yeah, it's soft enough that they can chew it.
So if I put a piece of spinach in there, he'll go after it. That's a great idea.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Experiment. I like it.
Takes a notion to it. Hard to say.
All right, because I think he's healthy as heck. And you know what? You're right. When you said earlier about doing it right, remember this is from February of 24 when I built the tank to your specs and followed it to the letter. So anybody watching that's new, just follow the darn instructions. It's right in front of you.
Right.
Really.
I found 100 ways to screw it up, and one way to do it right.
Oh
So I
yeah,
think I'll
it's
stick
true.
with
You
you.
know, there are people that get in trouble. I get in trouble once in a while. You know, I'll wind up with an algae explosion that just really out of control, or a tank that won't clear up. You know, and invariably, I realize it's because I did something wrong. You
Well, I
know,
do less and I do better. So apparently I've been the problem, not the
yeah, that's
tank.
kind of the key, isn't it?
Right.
Less is more.
Right.
Well, listen, if you feel better, man. Okay. We're all thinking about you.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you.
All right. Have fun tonight. You guys, thanks for letting me jump on.
You bet.
Thanks for coming up,
All
Adam.
right. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.
Whoosh.
Definitely seen some nice tanks tonight already. We're only close to 30 minutes in and seen a lot of really nice ones.
Right.
Mhm.
Ah, glory. What else is going on in the chat here?
Let's see what we got.
Matt C says, "What type of fish would you put in the 120?"
It's a good question.
I don't know. You know, I've got the same situation. I've got two 120s. One of them has not got water in it yet. They're set up and ready to go. The other one has a big aranda in it and some plants. I got them to put big fish in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a firm believer that if you got a big tank, you need to put big fish in it. Now, in truth, the only reason I believe that is because they usually have big fish without big enough tanks. So I'm excited to get a big tank. When I had my shop in Venice, Florida, I had a number of big tanks. Biggest one was 500 gallons. And I thought bringing it in and setting it up, boy, I'm going to do a really cool display with 1,000 neons and, 1,000 barbs and cories and all this. And then somebody brought in a group of 3-foot clown knives that they had caught in a local pond. And that pretty well decided what was going in that tank. And then other big stuff went in that tank. I had a lot of really big fish in that tank. One interesting thing about the tank, I had, when the day I opened that business, the local Venice aquarium store went out of business. Same day, totally independently of each other. I mean, we never talked. It just happened that way. And then I got a call from the fellow who was liquidating it to come down there, and he gave me whatever I wanted on credit and took credit in the store. A man I gotta have to ask Adam if he knows them. I'm sure he does because they travel in the same circles. Anyhow, there were two big canister. They were the pre-canister filters. They were big, round, clear plastic containers, like 2 to 3 gallon containers with lids screwed on the top and plumbing with an external pump that drove water through it. Very effective, but they leaked. They leaked like sponges.
Oh no.
And the pump I was using were submersible pumps. I would have the pump in the tank, pulling water out, running it through, and then it went back in. And it was a closed system, so it wasn't like water was going to go anywhere, except that the canister leaked. So I put it in the tank. And it wasn't that it didn't leak anymore. It said it leaked in the tank.
Right?
And I had this canister filter, big round plastic canister kind of thing in the tank with the pump sitting on top of it, pumping away, filtering the water. And this is a 500-gallon, 10-foot tank. I mean,
Wow.
you can really notice it.
Mhm.
But I've also been kind of amused by that I solved the leaking problem by putting the whole thing in a tank.
Hey, that's one way to solve the problem.
That was real different.
Mhm.
So what kind of fish should I put in? Well, that's what happens to me in big tanks. Now there's predatory fish fins, I guess, predatory fins that's within an hour and a half drive of me. They're currently in China, in Bangkok, I think. I don't remember. Judging an arowana show, and they apparently judged the world champion, which is of course a big red,
Right?
of course. The one fish that's not available in the U.S.
Hmm.
for absolutely no good reason. They have not been caught in the wild in 25 years. In fact, nobody even knows that they exist in the wild. There's not been a reported case of one in the wild for 25 years. And every single one of them that are put on the market have a tag in them. Every one of them have an electronic tag. So you know where they came from, where they were bred, how old they are, all of the details about the fish, are I mean, it's a tagged fish, for God's sake. And yet it's illegal to import them into the US because it might impact wild stock. Utterly, it's not just insanity. It's a form of madness.
Right?
It's a form of bureaucratic madness
Hmm.
in which people with power exercise their power because that's what people with power do. And it doesn't matter what it applies to. It could apply to anything. It could apply to the dirt under your feet or the air that you breathe or the snow on Kilimanjaro. Doesn't matter what it applies to. What matters is the exercise of power. And that is the nature, the fundamental nature of moral corruption.
Yeah.
Moral corruption. And I call it moral corruption because it is a fundamental level of corruption that exceeds law and it exceeds human interactive behavior. It is a form of lawlessness that violates the very foundation of reality, because it is the exercise of authority and power for its own sake. And that is the nature of evil. Evil is the exercise of authority for the sake of exercising authority and for no other reason. That's what the snake did in the garden. Who's here?
Danielle.
Danielle.
Hmm.
There she is. Hey,
Hey.
Stuart. How are you? Hi there.
Check it out. It's finally fully planted.
Oh, look at this.
Beautiful.
This. How nice.
I'm so excited. It's finally fully planted and it's only been since I started this.
Looks great.
I have exciting things tonight,
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
all about it.
and that's my dad.
Hi there. Hi, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
All right. We're going on a journey. I just had to show
Awesome.
that there was fully plants in there. You're going to hear my birds. They're not happy.
All right.
All right. So firstly, ta-da,
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
more plants too.
Wow.
And speaking of plants, my plant shelf has
Oh,
look
isn't
at
that
that great.
pretty? Oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
Nice.
But everybody's doing so good in here. You can see my platy cyan,
Yeah.
platy splatter,
Mhm.
and there's my rainbow boys. But-
Pretty. Looks wonderful.
The thing I have been hyping in the chat since I got in here is me and my mom are going to be building a custom nightstand and decky thing that goes over my chest. And I'm
Wow.
going to put a tank on it. Specifically, a 10-gallon I have just gotten for my birthday.
Oh, how nice.
But it's going to
Well,
go
happy
over
birthday.
here.
Yes.
My birthday isn't for 2 more weeks, but I got an early birthday present.
Nice.
That's wonderful.
Look at that.
Now, Father Fish, I have a question. Because I want to put the fishy tank here, will the window be too much light for the tank, or do you think it'll be okay, or should I keep the curtain closed on that side? It
You
only
just
gets
have to-
evening light.
Yeah, you'll just have to wait and see. Put as
Okay.
many plants in it as you can. That'll help.
Absolutely.
And just try it and see.
Absolutely. I'm very excited. You can kind of see the plan here,
Yeah, yeah.
but that
That's
will be
window.
where
The window in the background with curtains.
Yep.
Very nice.
I'm very excited because that's where the beta is going that I'm getting from Christian B.
Oh, cool.
Huh. Is
He's
this
got
your bedroom? You have
What?
a busy. Is this your bedroom?
Yes, sir.
It's a busy room.
Well, if you want
Wow.
busy, I mean, I've painted all this myself.
Oh, how nice.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
You did
Happy-
such amazing work on that
Look at it.
dragon.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. And you painted all of that?
Yep. And there's stars and clouds on the ceilings and some dragons.
That is cool.
Oh dear.
It's kind of messy, but
I
and
love
then
it.
my puppy. Hey, no biting. Thank you.
Who's
But-
your friend?
Sorry, what?
Who's your friend?
This is Bravo.
He's pretty.
He's my pity puppy. Yeah,
Boy.
Right.
yeah, he's a big boy. He's 9 months old. But I'm so excited for the project because I had nowhere to put the beta I'm getting from Christian. So I was like, I need a solution.
Oh, that's
So me
perfect.
and Mom decided to build. And it's going to be wonderful.
I love it.
Can't wait to see when it's finished.
I love it. You bet.
Me too.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will get back in the chat. I was so excited to share. I cannot wait
Well,
for
so
everything to be done.
You bet. Thank
Right.
you, Danielle.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Love ya. And Gary has a question for you.
Sure.
Mhm. Gary asked, how is even 100 gallons enough space for a healthy ecosystem with fish? I was taught that it takes a larger pond to support fish through a natural food web.
Well, it depends on the size of the fish, for one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you got a little tiny fish, 100 gallons is, that would be comparable to a natural. You could easily make that a natural environment for little fish. If you got big fish, it's going to be less so. I mean, we make accommodations, don't we? You know, we can't have million gallon aquariums. I mean, there are facilities that do have them, and they do it in order to be able to have something approximating a natural environment for large animals. And that can be successful. There are a lot of variables to that. We're always making accommodations. I mean, people say you cannot have nature in an aquarium. Well, if not nature, then what?
Right?
I mean,
That's a good way to put it.
it's not a Martian environment, and
Right?
there is no environment on this earth that is not a natural environment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even a laboratory environment is there by virtue of the laws of nature. It doesn't exist but by virtue of any other set of laws or principles. So that's really not the issue. The issue is, can you, as I think Gary has delineated pretty carefully here, can you sustain uh, life forms in in a closed system in a way that is long term healthy for them, and in which the system is able to function essentially as a natural system? And the answer is clearly yes. Will every system operate that way? Certainly not. You need to make accommodations based on whatever the variations are. And if the variable is the size of the animal, well, that becomes a primary consideration, then, doesn't it? So it's not a matter of saying you can keep a I don't know what, an arapaima. You can keep an arapaima in a 75-gallon tank. It'll be perfectly healthy. Well, maybe until it reaches about a foot, and then you won't be able to anymore. So you make accommodations, and you treat it with reasonableness. I don't know. I guess I have a problem with the people who just want to be absolutists and who say it's impossible to have a natural environment in a fish tank. As though what we're in a fish tank, we're not a natural environment. Because it is. No matter what it is, it is. You know, if it's gravel and water, it's a natural environment.
Right?
It may not be one that duplicates any other natural environment out there, other than maybe another similar fish tank.
Right?
But it's certainly operating based on the laws of nature. So it's a natural environment. And somebody made the comment. Oh, I know what it was. I was writing an article, and I mentioned hormones. that plants release hormones. And they were doing a rewrite and they said, oh, give me natural hormones. Plants release natural hormones. And I said, oh, natural hormones. So when would they release unnatural hormones? Well, they wouldn't. Well, then why to refer to it as natural hormones if there's no such thing as an unnatural hormone? A hormone is a hormone. You can call it natural. Doesn't change anything. It is what it is. And that's kind of the situation with the tank. So what we try to do is we try to give it whatever resources we have available to us to make it as nice as it could be. Well, so what we're looking for is not natural. What we're looking for is nice. We want it to be nice. Now, and that, what does that mean? That means, frankly, whatever you want it to mean. My nice ain't your nice. A lot of you like my nice, which is why you're here, because you like my nice. And I appreciate that. I mean, I very much appreciate that, because I know how many people don't like my nice. You know, my nice is not a highly respected level or type of nice. You know, I like, well, here, that kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not as nice as I could make it, but it's pretty nice. Well, I just spilled water on my keyboard. That's very good. Fortunately, not much. This could be a lot worse. What are we doing
It
here?
froze. There it goes.
Jeez. There. We're going to have shrimp in here. But this is a tank that has kind of been kicked from corner to corner. And it wound up in a corner in my office. And I didn't want it in here because I don't think much of it one way or the other. But it sort of never got broken down. It had some fish in it that got moved out of it. And they were going to throw it out. I decided, get rid of it. I don't want it. And then I looked at it and I thought, you know what we could use is a shrimp tank. We don't have a shrimp tank. Let's get a bunch of shrimp. And it's taken a week. And there's still not a shrimp in there. So I don't know, frankly, that it's ever going to happen. But one of these days, we might wind up with a shrimp or two here. And then maybe if we do real well, there will be a lot of shrimp in here. There's plenty of algae for me. And it's not all that pristine the tank by a long shot. So we'll see if we wind up with a shrimp tank.
Hey, hopefully so. That would be nice.
I would like to have a shrimp tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just set one up. I think it was a week ago. So I'm hoping eventually to start breeding them. Have them in all my tanks. You okay?
No, I'm not okay, but I'm trying. Whew. I turned the heat up in here so it didn't get chill.
Yeah.
All right. What are we doing? What's going on?
Well, Willie Bond says that he has some cherry shrimp still, so that's good.
Oh, this is weird.
What happened?
This is weird.
Yeah, that
There
is.
is snail eggs on the center area. It sounds like a spurious argument. I mean, I don't doubt, but that the heater crapped out. They do that occasionally. But I never heard of it being caused by nearite snail eggs. And all over, I mean, I've never seen an incrustation of neurite snail eggs. I've seen lots of little spots, but they were usually, I don't know, an inch or so apart. I'd like to see a picture of that
Definitely.
so I know what you're really talking about. Um, yeah, heaters are a problem. I the Higer heater that I'm so fond of, it's a big ceramic block kind of heater. I really like the configuration. I don't much like the color. It doesn't need to be colorful. It just makes it stand out. So I think they can do without the bright orange. But I like the idea of a ceramic heater that doesn't break when you drop it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that city is saying that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize. Well, you got to trust Sidious. I take it all back. If anybody knows what they're talking about, it's Sidious.
Hmm.
That's Ryan. Ryan has been doing these wonderful videos for us, and they are magnificent. They've not been getting. Oh, two things happened. He did one about 2 weeks ago on not weather, the seasons, on the seasons, the impact of seasons on the aquarium, and it somehow got picked up in India.
That's impressive.
It is. It was doing, God knows, 5,000 views a day in
Wow.
India. And we looked at it, and they were not translating it into Hindustan or whatever the language is. Maybe 1/2 of 1%. They also were not watching it more than about 10%. But boy, we're sure getting hits. And it's leveled off now after about 2 weeks. I think it got up to like 65,000 views on that video. Astounding. Just amazing. I have no idea in this world how that happened or why that happened. I have a video like that. The cleaning your tank, never clean your tank. We published it 2 years ago, and it consistently gets 2,000 views a day.
That's
2,000
nice.
views a day. Nothing else comes even close to that. I mean, if I have a video that's doing 500 views a day, I think 1,000 is the level at which I feel like it's really, really cranking. But 500 is a lot. After a week or two to be doing 500 views, that's a pretty good video. But 2,000 a day after 2 years and still doing 2,000. Now, how does that even happen?
Right?
I
It's
have
impressive.
no idea in this world. If I could figure that out, I would beat YouTube.
Right?
I would absolutely would. Because I would have every video doing 2,000 views a day. If
That
I
would be nice.
how and why that happens. Not even a clue. Not even the vaguest clue.
The algorithm has a mind of its own.
Yeah, a mindless mind.
Right?
And that's what it is. If it were not so mindless, you could figure it out.
Yeah.
Flavio, do you like a Brazilian fish? What's your experience on Lake of Contact? I like a lot of the Brazilian fish. It's basically all of the tropicals. all the real tropicals. You know, discus, for example. Now, they're discus in other countries in South America, but
I'll be right
Brazil
back.
Brazil has the largest. It's the biggest country with the largest segment of tropical fish. I like all of the L series plecos. I like them a lot. Um, Gee, there's very little I don't like about Brazilian fish. I would like to live in Brazil, I think. If I had grown up in Brazil, I probably would have been long ago eaten by a caiman because I would be out in the swamp all the time. All the time. Thank you, Flavio. Nice to have you here. And thank you for the donation. Very much appreciated. Oh, let's see. Let's get down to the bottom here. I'm an hour behind. So you see what the last Lord. I was way up there, wasn't I? I ain't even close. Mercy. It must be 5,000. There's Flavia. I just went past him. I have a paradise with my goldfish. I don't think I would do paradise with goldfish. Depends on, not super fancy goldfish anyway. Who said, Discord said you should use Prime? Discord what? Father Fish? Discord? I would not. I'm gonna have to climb down some throats over there. They're talking about using Prime. Come on now. I mean, you're losing the flavor of the argument. It's just kind of gotten out of hand. I think it's hopeless, though. I mean, I've struggled for years to try to keep Discord pure, and it's hopeless. I mean, after a while, even the diehards give up the game. Scorn says, I think that's why God didn't move you to Brazil. Yeah, maybe. Craig says he's never been to Brazil, but he's seen a few Brazilians. Not the same. Not the same. A few Brazilians is not like a school of Brazilians. There's different. It's like you can look at one tetra, but when you look at 1,000 tetras of the school, it's not the same as looking at one tetra. So they're talking about Craig's Catfish Cave, saying he's never been to Brazil, but he's seen a few Brazilians. and you know, a few Brazilians is not the same as a city full of Brazilians.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And it's all very stupid. Let's see. Why would you add a vitamin C tablet and then stuff that you don't do? This will cause a lot of problems. Chatterbox. Why would you add a vitamin C tablet and then stuff that you don't do? I don't understand the question. I guess I don't need to. What are you doing, water change? You can use. Oh, okay. Oh, that's the Prime thing. Got it. And then James says, I use Prime. Discord said that you use it. Or the vitamin C. I see. Well, yeah, I don't do that. I mean, if you don't have vitamin C, then I suggest you get vitamin C, because vitamin C is easy to get, it's commonly available, and there's no reason for you not to have it. So never mind what are the options of vitamin C. The option of vitamin C is vitamin C. So you get and you use vitamin C. Why? Because it's effective. It's perfectly and completely effective. And that's why you get it, and that's why you use it. So it's the father fish logic. I guess that's what it is. You know, when you find something that works, then use what works,
Right?
not something else that might work. Might work, maybe it works all the time. But why do it if you already know what does work? Why not just use what you know is effective?
Right?
Doesn't run out. Well, then go out and get some more. And then you won't be out. And don't run out again. Have a little,
Little extra.
well, right. I mean, have a little forethought.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the bottle and it's down to the last 2 tablets, you no longer say, gee, I need to get some more vitamin C. Instead, you go out and you get some more vitamin C.
Definitely.
So
That
when
way you've always got it.
there will be more. Right. There should always be more.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff you don't do. So, yeah. That sounds right to me, Chatterbox, although I can't figure out what you're saying. But it sounds right. Lloyd Goodyear. What does vitamin C do? Okay, we're gonna teach a lesson on vitamin C. Vitamin C, here's what we know. We know that vitamin C is a nutrient.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you put vitamin C in your tank, it will dissolve rather readily, and it will add its ingredients to the composition of what's in the tank. The vitamin C is a nutrient, so it adds a certain kind of nutrient. Is it a nutrient that's commonly available? Where? Well, where does vitamin C come from? Come from plants. Are plants typically in tanks? Well, yeah, they are. So there's typically vitamin C in tanks. Comes from the plants. Then what does vitamin C do? Well, vitamin C helps grow plants. We know that. For sure, we know that. But what else does it do? Aha. It controls toxins. All toxins? Probably not. Some toxins we know for sure. It controls some toxins. Well, which toxins are they? The 2 that I know it controls are chlorine and chloramine. Vitamin C controls chlorine and it controls chloramine. So, in what formula does this occur? Well, we've done some laboratory work on this. I paid for a technician to set up a double-blind experiment testing the effectiveness of vitamin C on chlorine and chloramine. And what was discovered was that 1,000 K tablet treated up to 400 gallons of water, reducing completely chlorine and chloramine, one tablet. Now, is vitamin C of such a nature that if you overdose, you create a toxic environment? Certainly, that's the case for many chemicals. You can't overdose, or you create a worse problem than you started with. And the answer is no. It's a natural ingredient. There's that funny word, natural, again. In this case, we're using natural to distinguish it from that which is toxic. So non-toxic would be a better term perhaps than natural. It's a non-toxic material is vitamin C.
J-Dog has a question. How
Sure.
many milligrams of vitamin C do you use?
Yeah, 1,000 milligram tablet.
1,000?
Yeah, 1K milligram. That's the standard tablet. I think it's 1K. But
And
it
big-
doesn't matter if it's 5K or 10K. It doesn't matter. You just throw one tablet in
Okay.
to whatever tank you got, and it'll do the job.
The J-Dog was asking per how many gallons?
Right. Minimum. Well, it'll one tablet will treat up to 400 gallons. 400 gallons. So if you have a 5-gallon tank, you put one tablet in, it treats that 5 gallons, is available then to treat another 395.
Wow.
Well, it doesn't do anything in the meantime. It just kind of sits there and it dissolves and it goes into the system and it gets absorbed by plants, I guess. Whatever.
Big Stroke's got a question for you. What would be good tank mates for comet goldfish?
You know, I keep goldfish in every tank that has duckweed because goldfish love duckweed and I don't love duckweed. And I find it's the easiest way to get rid of it. And I've got them in every imaginable tank. Now, I don't have any goldfish in my African cichlid tank, nor do I have any in my Central American cichlid tank because they would tear them to shreds. I have no doubt. But I've got fancy ones, fancy goldfish in with angels, tetras, live bears, all of the small type fish, and a lot of bigger fish like gouramis, discus, and so forth. So I mix them in pretty much everything. I'm not going to put them in where they're clearly going to get beaten up. So, I don't do that. But I do put them in near about anything else. What is this? Any other fish I want? Small fish, but don't want them to get eaten guppies and mullins. So you want a small fish that won't eat other small fish. That's very doable. Very doable. Chatterbox. No way prime. I don't think I've got goosebumps all over my place and how to get laughter. What? Big stroke. What scorching Lloyd? The gases that clean off instantly, breaks the bond of chloramine. If you got that, but you need more than one tablet for chloramine. I don't think you do, actually. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything if you do. And it may act more quickly. But talk to Maeve about it. Maeve is the one who did the research on this. She set up a really interesting and effective laboratory trial for chlorine and chloramine. Cinnamon is here.
Hey,
Hello,
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Hi there.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I thought
Nice.
I'd come up and show you some of my tanks. I haven't in a while.
Oh,
Glad
good.
you did.
We got some of the angels who I've had for a little bit. They were real little when I got them, so they're pretty similar to the ones that I'm bringing to you, Lou.
Pretty.
And then, of course, I have my Beta girls. They're all.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's the Episto. I've got a extra sponge in there that I'm trying to cycle for my 55. So that's why that's there if anybody wants to know.
Right.
They're all looking at me like, are you feeding us? I got pearl scale and we've got a lot of koi.
Beautiful.
They're pretty.
That they are.
And then I've got, let's see, well, I have some babies down here that are some of the Mickey Mouse platies.
Oh, nice.
They're still growing out. There's what I got the, oh, you went and can't. Where'd he go? Let me see if I can pull him in. I think I'll feed them. There, he's hiding behind the tiger. There he is. That's that one, the 4 that I got from you.
Oh,
Shell
okay.
dwellers, but the one with the sea.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, they love the rocks. They're not as much. I tried to get them into doing the shells, but they stick to the rocks a lot.
Ah,
They're getting big enough that I'm hoping they have babies here soon.
yeah.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Getting close.
Yeah. Oh, don't you be jumping out. I don't need any jumpers.
Right? Definitely.
These are those stacked endlers, endlers that I got, Lou.
Aren't they pretty?
Mm-hmm.
I love the color. I mean, they really got some good color.
Polka dots. Aren't they nice?
And that is like one scoop of fish
Wow.
from
Pretty.
the auction. Yeah, I got that at the auction. So,
Right.
oh,
Ooh.
just pretty. And these are some of my shell dwellers that are growing out, some babies.
Ah,
Got a little tank that I have them in. It's easier to catch them when they're in this tank.
right.
Plus, it frees up some area for new babies.
Mine are still little.
Yeah, they don't grow as fast as I thought they would. But then I look at the parents and they're barely bigger. So,
Yeah, I know. They don't get big, do they?
and then if I move that over, I got koi guppies. And I got some from the auction too, that I've got some beautiful
Aren't they
ones.
pretty?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I had to take a female bed out of here because I think she was eating babies. Because we usually would get at least 3 or 4 little babies
They will do
every
that.
once in a while.
Yeah.
But these guys are really, really pretty.
Oh,
And now for Christian, let's see here. You don't need to see my mess. There's some of his girls.
no, my.
Some of them are mine. There's a few that were I had before, but like this girl here is one of his. This red one.
Pretty. Yeah. Stunning.
Yes.
Stunning.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he has some. And that there is a bumblebee platy, but it hardly has any white
Huh.
or yellow. I think it's yellow maybe that they have.
Right.
And then there's let me see if that. Oh, and there's the green lantern platy that we got as a baby, given to us free. Now I got to get it some friends because it grew up. We didn't know if it would live or not.
Hmm.
And where is he? I wanted to show you that endler that I want to breed, the tiger skin. There's the female in the front. Oh, here he is. Look at that.
Oh, he is beautiful.
Lord.
I know, he's stunning.
That tail is
Oh,
It
interesting.
looks like a flame. So I'm going to take him and her and put him in a separate tank, and hopefully we'll get some babies.
The
Oh,
He's
yeah.
been
That's
He's
great.
been chasing her. There she is. He's been chasing her around, so I'm hoping she's already, but there's a lot of in the
Wow.
nano tank. I
Nice.
don't think I have any other guppies. And I have my glowfish. There's a whole bunch of shrimp, but they seem to be on the backside today. So, and then I'll show you the ones you love, the shell dwellers.
Oh, do bring some shrimp when you come.
What's that?
If you have them to spare, bring some shrimp.
Yeah, I'll see what I got. I don't have a ton, but I do have some. They're in here. See these babies? And if you look up, you go up to the top. Let me see if I can get them to. These things. Let's see. I pretend I put food in. They usually come up. Of course, they're gonna make a liar of me right now. Oh, there they are. Can you see them?
Yeah.
The white's kind of not doing it right, but there's like a million of them in there.
Wow.
And so I got to get them in a bigger tank, and I have a patio, like thing to make a tank for the patio, a smaller one than the big 125. But
Nice.
and look at the trench they're digging.
That they are.
This couple here is the worst. I have filled this in. She gets mad at me and spits sand at the tank window.
That's funny.
And then of course I've got the Julie. I think they're Julie. I had looked it up and found their names, but they have like a yellow and a stripe up the side.
Or
but
not.
one of them's peeking out right there. He lives in there, and the couple that's bonded is in the cave. I'm hoping they're going to have babies, and there's all the others are like, what's going on?
Oh.
Their babies all hid because there's some in the front.
Right.
I love that tank.
Ever since I've been selling them and catching them, they're a little more skittish. And then I got flagfish in here, and they're doing great.
Yeah, they are.
I have no heat in here, just the one filter, and they basically are doing great. Now, are they live bearers, Lou, or are they egg?
They're egg layers.
Egg layers. So what, do they just lay them anywhere or on plants?
Scatters, yeah.
Because do they eat their own eggs, or are they good about not eating
They
them?
probably do. So, it's a matter of having a fair amount of litter on the bottom, so the eggs have a chance to.
Okay, so that's what I need in here then.
Yeah.
I knew I needed some leaves, but this one here I hadn't put as many. And I have in here, I'll show you quick, the mess over here, but there's my axolotl, or one of them. Can you see it?
Little guy. Oh yeah, there he is.
Right here, and then this is the little one that hardly grows. I call it Bean.
Wow.
But he hardly grows. Here, let me do the light over here. Oh, there he goes. But he's just a little guy, whereas the others are, let's see if I can get a good one of, see, this is the other ones. And they were only a little bit bigger than him when they first came.
Wow.
One's looking at it, it's like, what are you doing?
Right.
They're on high alert right at the moment. But basically, two of them I'm going to let go, and then the other one, I'm going to keep. Well, I'm on the edge of 3 or 2. I'm not sure yet. I'm getting attached, so I'm like,
right.
Have to make up my mind quick here soon. And then there's them. All right. I'll let you guys go. I'm sure there's others that want to come on.
Well, thank you, Sentiment. Nice to see you.
And remember what I said, Lou. Go tomorrow or the next day to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, and J-Dog Fatherfish, he has a quick question for you.
Yeah.
I do have a question for Fatherfish when you get a chance. Is it true that red bettas are more natural and have a better chance of living than the other colors?
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The red betta, I don't know that that's true. but there certainly is something about that is undeniably true. My hunch is that the red color is somehow healthier for the fish. And it certainly is the case that the red betta is the more common color in the wild. So it's a more common color morph, which would probably lead me to believe that it's a more stable strain of animals. Good question. I don't know how you could actually authenticate that in any way. You'd have to have kind of a long-term study to be able to determine that. I would expect that some of the guys who have been dealing with bettas for 50 or 60 years would have a handle on it and some understanding of it.
Oh, it looks like Budget Bonsai's here.
Who?
Budget Bonsai.
Oh, nice. Budget Bonsai.
Hello, Father Fish. Hi, Dina. How are you guys?
Been good.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm feeling good about having some bonsai trees installed in my aquariums.
Oh, my goodness.
Those
Oh,
are
wow.
weeping willow trees.
Wow. Really? And how are they emerging?
That is amazing.
Well, they got leaves growing on them, don't they?
That they do.
Those are rooted cuttings.
Ha. That's a branch.
Yeah, so that someone took a cutting, they took a branch, rooted it. The root went from soft tissue to a woody root, and I'm able to put it in the aquarium now.
Wow.
With this high hopes and no idea what's about to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I think those the underwater part of the trunk there is going to continue to produce roots, the soft tissue roots, which I
Right.
will remove. I'll take those off and let the roots and the substrate take hold.
Oh, okay.
And I've got this. I activated my Discord account over there in the Father Fish Shoal. So I have a place to put some of these pictures and updates.
Oh, nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah, if anybody's got any info or experience, I'd love to hear about it. If not, you can watch as I get some.
Well, I'm excited about that.
I also used a bonsai pot, and I released it as my last video yesterday on the Budget Bonsai YouTube channel, where I took those bald cypress seedlings and put them in a pot and then designed and built a floating apparatus for my pond.
Wow.
So the bald cypress now, the pot is floating at water level, but the trees are above water. So they're immersed roots growing emergently.
Huh.
And I have some other trees that should be delivered this week to experiment with in aquariums. So I'm going to say phase 1 is underway and we're taking notes.
Wow. That's
Exciting.
exciting stuff.
And I've got a little bit of that Father Fish Predisoil complete left over. So I've got some other projects
Oh, cool.
in the wings I can't wait to get started on.
Cool. Nice.
I like your Discord activity over there, Father Fish. I'm trying to figure out how to get promoted from a dory to a shoaler.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a formula for it. It's sort of at the whim or fancy of somebody who's already there, giving you a leg up. I will speak to some friends. What's your tag on Discord?
It's Budget Bonsai.
Budget Bonsai. Okay, we'll get you moving along.
All right. Thanks a lot. I enjoy being there. And thanks for letting me show off my
Oh, I love
bonsai
it.
tank.
That's exciting stuff.
Yeah, it is. I
Go ahead,
can't wait
Dina.
to see how this works because this
Right.
is really an exciting project.
It's fun for me, and I'm telling you, I've already thought ahead a little bit. I don't want to bombard anyone with too much information at once, but there's going to have to be some changes going forward, and we'll make those when we get to them.
Right. Budget bonsai.
I can't wait to watch how this tank changes over the coming months.
Thank you, Dana. I'm looking forward to it also. And I'm going to get out of everyone's way and thank you guys again for your support. And I look forward to talking with you again soon.
You bet.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So long.
So
Take care. Bye
thanks.
bye. I don't know where budget bonsai is. I'm over here. Let me send Mama. Let her find him.
Mhm.
Let's see. There she is. Fine budget bonsai.
He's got some really interesting projects that he's working on. I can't wait to see how it all turns out. It's definitely something I would like to do in my turtle tank. Is actually have a bonsai tree growing. That would
Oh
be
yeah,
fun.
absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Now I'm lost. There we go. Where are you?
Right here.
Ken Jacobs, new member. Welcome, Ken.
Welcome.
Nice to have you.
Mhm.
Oh,
J-Dog mentioned something earlier in the chat that was really interesting. In your opinion, what do you think works best for the bettas? The tannin water or clear water?
I don't know. Probably tannin.
Well, looks like we've got Ryan.
I'm more now. You're Ryan's here. Hey,
Hey.
Ryan.
Howdy, everyone.
How are you feeling?
Still recovering.
Mhm.
For those of you that,
We just had a bout.
yeah,
Oh no.
all right, drove myself to the ER and everything at midnight, so it was fun.
Oh,
Whoosh.
I hope
Uh,
you feel better.
yeah. It's just got to get all the electrolytes back in order.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
You buy some Pedialyte, did you?
yeah, I've been going through plenty of that and ginger ale and all that good stuff.
Oh,
So I got one fun little thing for all of you. If you're
Mhm.
having any sort of trouble with Hydra, my little cure has been these lovely little endlers right here.
oh,
Oh
look
yeah,
at
they
that.
love them. Yes.
Yes, they
Wow.
are all the little ones, and they'll still eat them. So yeah, they wiped out my lovely little tank full of Hydra there, thankfully.
Oh,
Perfect.
nice.
And then, I don't
Yeah,
know, I
my
guess.
guppy Inler hybrids, yeah, they love to eat Hydra.
Yeah, I think pretty much that whole family of live bears there will just love them.
Right.
About mollies.
Right.
Y'all know platies eat everything. Well, they just won't stop. So when I transplanted some in with my pseudomugel here, so we'll see if they end up eating all the Hydra or not in here.
Oh, cool.
And then there's a little beta.
That's a pretty one.
Hmm.
He wants food all the time. And that random fry that I had develop in another tank,
Yeah.
turns out it was one of the praecox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just
That
completely
makes sense.
on some plant that I brought in and put in another tank, and yeah,
Well, that's right. Their eggs are adhesive, and they lay them on plants.
yep.
Sure enough. And they hatch in 2 days.
Yeah,
2 to 3 days.
that guy's been surviving entirely on just whatever it finds in that tank. So
Right.
I haven't fed that tank in months. And the
Amazing.
guy's like a tiny little guy now, but
Right.
yeah, still going, still completely
They're
chubby.
very, very slow growing.
Yeah.
The key to growing out rainbows is to get them in outdoor ponds where they will have an excess of food and space to move. Having a larger area seems to also help with growth, but I think primarily it's having a constant source of food so that they never need to stop eating as they're growing. And a lot of fish are like that. They want to eat all the time.
Yep.
And they really don't build fat reserves because they're putting it all into growth.
Right.
And it's not until they get pretty close to full grown that they begin to slow down on their eating and actually build reserves. But
Yeah.
putting fish outdoors, particularly young fish, in an outdoor pond is the very, very best way to grow them out. That's what all the farmers do. They will spawn, oh, I don't know, anything, zebra danios by the tens of thousands of eggs. And then they hatch them, and they do them in little styrofoam boxes. They hatch them out and they watch them. They never feed them. They watch them until they're up and swimming. And as soon as they are, they go out in a pond. And they have prepared the pond with various kinds of millseed that creates huge volumes of paramecium and other microscopic animal life. And they dump those babies in there and they just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. That's all they do is eat. And they grow fast. They can market them in 2 weeks.
Now that's impressive.
They can have a marketable product in 2 weeks. It's just
Wow.
like a zebra dania, just really amazing.
Mhm.
We could not feed at that rate. We'd have to be producing brine shrimp 24/7
Right.
there, day and night.
Mm-hmm.
They'll eat at night too, because they're moving around. They don't eat by seeing things so much as opening their mouth. And the food is right there.
Mm-hmm.
So all they have to do is
Right.
funny stuff.
Yeah. There's a channel that I'm reminded of that I already know you know of, Goliad Farms. They got those big outdoor things in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great channel.
Yeah. And if there's one that would argue against all that silliness of the hormones and stuff, it would be that place too, because they
Yeah,
keep
right.
running on the same circulated system, hundreds of fish.
I know. Yeah, it's amazing. Isn't
It is.
it? Oh, Lord. I got vape poisoned. It's been coming on for a while. Didn't realize what it was or what the source was. And yesterday it just hit me. I sat here at my desk all day long and I found myself gasping and realized that one of my employees has been using the desk to work and communicate and is vaping all the time. And this is a little corner back here that's very secluded and closed off, and all of the vapor just kind of hangs here. You can hear it in my voice. I found myself gasping, convulsing. Oh, it's just absolutely unbelievable. So I've come to a new appreciation of the toxicity of vaping, secondhand no less.
Yeah. Along that line, if anybody wants to get into being a respiratory therapist or anything, I'm sure you're going to get a lot of money in the future.
Yeah, really. God knows. It's probably one of the major health issues in our country today. And I don't think it's environmental. I mean, not normal environmental. I think it's the things that we do to our body, the things we ingest or inhale or whatever that are causing it. What else is going on here?
It's good to see you guys. I got to get out and get dinner ready for
It's good to see you too.
Thank you, Ryan. Nice to
Bye.
see you.
new
Appreciate
videos coming all the time. FF finally shot one, guys. It's coming up.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
J-Dog saying the Sig Gandalf is never far from his staff. I don't know. See, is that what he's talking about?
Yep, that's what he's talking about.
I've got 2 or 3 of them around here. I've yet to begin using them. I need a big staff. Just a little,
Oh, that would be cool.
a little cane just doesn't do me. I need
Yeah.
something about 5 feet, at least 5 feet tall. I think I had one at one point. It was rough cut, but I picked it up in the woods, and it was so sturdy that I kept it. I don't know if I still have it though. It probably got thrown away when my greenhouse got blown down.
Yeah.
Ken Jacobs. Hello, Ken. Oh, let's see what else is going on here. J-Dog's commenting on everything. Don't get the broken ones, right? Ryan has fancy mustache. I noticed that too. His fancy mustache is very nice.
Yeah, everybody likes the idea of you getting a wizard staff.
A wizard staff.
Yeah.
Right.
J-Dog's quoting the Lord of the Rings, "You shall not pass."
Right. Funny. I think the swelling is beginning to recede.
That's
think.
good.
I'm not absolutely certain, but it kind of feels like it. I still have a lot, but it's not as puffy as it was. I still have indentations when I press into my legs. What I want to do is lose it in the gut, because
Yeah.
that's where the weight will really come off. So I'm hoping.
Hopefully.
Let's see. Oh, 3G talking about a sand bell. Guess what I found? Darn, I forgot to bring it in too. I gotta get it. I found the old school bell.
Oh, cool.
I have a school bell, one of those clangers
Mhm.
with the handle. I had one and lost track of it. Well, it turned up. I found it, and so I've got it. I'm going to bring it in, and we'll have the bell. A T-shirt with Father Fish's face. Imagine that, right? Maybe another one of those big ones. Is Chemplex a good treatment for swim bladder? I don't know. I think you need to determine the cause of the swim bladder problem. I mean, the reality is that a swim bladder problem is caused by the tiny little vessel that feeds air into the bladder becoming infected or otherwise blocked. And there simply is nothing that can be done about that. Particularly if it's blocked, you can't unblock it. And nothing gets in there to be able to treat an infection. If it's a general body infection, maybe you can control it. And maybe if you do, it will clear up that very, very microscopically tiny vessel that carries air to the bladder. It's controlled muscularly, and the muscle is an autonomic muscle that's affected by the density, not density, it's the wrong word, affected by water pressure. So fixing that is, it can't be done surgically, and it rarely is an actual problem that can be treated biologically like an infection. It's usually some other kind of blockage that really is not reparable. You can't really do anything about it. Now, if it's locked in the open position and the fish is floating, you can use a syringe and release air, take air out so that it will be able to balance better in the water and be able to swim more naturally. You can certainly do that. That's more a mechanical kind of approach. I think selling chemicals for a swim bladder infection, it's just a way to make money based on promises. I don't think it is capable of solving other than an extremely narrow range of causes. Matthew Plowden is here. Hey, Matthew, what do we got?
How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
It's just my usual tank. I figured I'd show it off where you might can see it. My tannins have got so bad, I actually did a little bit of a water change today, but it was mainly so I could see the leaves of some of these plants. Because every now and then I like to go in and cut any of them that look like they're molten just so the plant doesn't waste any energy on something that's gonna. So, but I couldn't tell, the tannins was so dark in it, I couldn't tell what leaves were really good and which ones weren't.
They look pretty good, actually.
I mean, this is clear for it. I'm telling you, this is about as, and it was only a third of the water I changed, so it's still got plenty in there, but I could actually see them variatus now.
Yeah, exactly.
And them flatties, there's a yellow one and a red one, which you can't really. I think that's the yellow one right there.
It's not a little cloudy. It's red, but the water is clear.
Yeah, it's like tea or whatever, but it's it's always been crystal clear. It's just had the tannins, but I've never had any problem with any not being clear.
Yeah.
And algae. I don't know, for some reason I'm having no issue with any algae in this tank. But and maybe that's because of the tannins. I don't know. Or maybe it's because it's just not a wind source anywhere really close to it.
Well, do you have any idea what your KH and pH are?
No, because unless if something looks really bad, I don't even test it. I observe the fish, how they're acting. And, but I could, next time you get on, I can test it. I got a test kit for all that stuff.
I'd be interested.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's very soft. I tested it in the beginning.
Yeah.
My well water is really soft.
Soft and acidic.
Yeah, it's really soft, really acidic, and I'd say it's around about, if it coming out the tap, it's about a 6 pH.
Wow.
And the water softness was registering at the bottom of the scale. Like you couldn't
That's
hardly
why,
get any softer, you know?
well, that's why the plants struggle because they don't have nutrients. That would be a good application for a father fish substrate, a dirted substrate. That's what's going to keep those plants going.
Well, it's got a little bit in it.
See,
But
it does.
what could I mean? It's not your stuff that's in this one in particular. It's just potting soil, but I use like
That
organic
works.
stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah, works.
what? Add some manganese to it or something.
Or iron. Iron would be better. Iron would
Well,
help
I could
bring.
go get my brother's water and get all the iron I need because
Yeah,
they
that'll,
they used to wash
that'll
their
bring up,
clothes at my
that'll
house.
bring up the KH too.
Yeah. Well, I'll check that out, and next time I get on, I'll let you know what it was reading
It'd be interesting. Yeah.
because I have, I can read it, write it down, but I have no idea what the, parts per, how many parts per million or whatever it should have or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Right.
What would be acceptable? But
Interesting.
they don't really struggle in there. The stem
No, they
plants
don't.
do.
Yeah.
The swords do good, as you can see. The swords do
Yeah.
do really good. And that fern, I learned something about that Asian fern. It's like attached to that mopani wood.
Yeah.
And I actually took some and put it in my resurrection jar, but the spores come out of the leaves. That's how it propagates.
Right.
And you just clip off the leaf. And I took it, I actually put it in my little resurrection jar. I call it a jar. It's like a 1 gallon
Yeah. Yeah.
little aquarium with some shrimp in it and stuff.
Right.
But
That's cool.
I just took the clip and I actually did it today when I was cleaning it out. It's back here in this hot room. It's just an aerator thing hooked to it. But
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you could see the very top of that where there's a little shrimp right there.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a little twig sticking up, and that's the end of that leaf where that spore was coming out. So we're gonna see. But there's I don't know if you can see the shrimp. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. They just a regular red cherry. There's one right down there too. There's about 5 in there.
Uh-huh. Oh, nice.
But anyway, it gets a lot of sunlight because that big old
Yeah, really.
window's sitting right there.
Oh, yeah.
It gets all the afternoon.
Right. Right.
Pardon my house. I'm a single old man, and all I do is work and play with aquariums. So my house is probably trashed by most people.
Is that a single wide?
Yeah, it's like a 16 by 70, something like that. Like a 3-bedroom, but those bedrooms are back there. One's that fish room kind of, and the other one's actually my tool room.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, I certainly ain't gonna take you in there because all my fishing and hunting and tools and everything else are in there. But anyway, I love my fish, but I love to eat them too. That's the only thing with me.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
God bless you, brother.
Yeah, God bless you.
All right, God bless y'all too. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
All right, bye.
It's got some nice tanks. A dark water tank's beautiful.
Yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Living the game we call life, huh?
Zany Forever wants to know, Father Fish, have you ever set up a bog filter for a pond?
Oh yeah, I've done that. That's really pretty easy to do. and you can do it any way imaginable. You're just pumping water into it and letting it flow through and back into the pond. So all you really need is a pump, and you can set up anything as a bog. You know, typically what people do is they'll do a children's pool, kiddie pool. They work real well because it's pretty good size, and you can just, all you need to do is fill it with sand, but then you get plants growing in it, and it becomes pretty special. A lot of ways to skin that cat. You can do it on the ground, so long as you don't have a lot of sand that the water's just going to percolate through and be gone. But if you got clay, you can do it right on the ground and just, you know, grow bog plants in it. And dig it down a little bit to get enough there, but it needs to be up above the level of the pond for it to flow back in. That's kind of the only issue. But fun to do, easy to do, and it has the ability to make the pond really, really healthy because it provides a natural kind of filtration. There's that word natural again. Funny, isn't it? How we use a word like that. Meaning what? Meaning as nature would would provide. Oh dear.
How you feeling?
Okay. I'm okay.
You sure? Because we're close to the time if you're not feeling up to it.
Yeah, what are we doing? Where are we? We got about 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else here at present. Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
I'm kind of down to it.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble breathing.
Ooh.
Nice. You're tired. Willie Bond's tired. I'm tired too. And Willie Bond says, I see we call today. I'm with you, Willie Bond.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, love you all.
Love
Nice
y'all.
to be with you. Let's,
Absolutely.
where are we going now?
I think that's it.
My little
There we go.
as they swim about their home. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. I have traveled the world over, but never found the peace that comes from watching my fishes as they swim about their home. My heart is happy and I am content to sit and watch them swim. I will not be alone.
Good night, everybody. Love y'all.
Trees are in my home when the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow. I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home.
Good night, all. Love you all.
Love y'all. Have a good night. Don't worry, Willie Bond. I will. I'll watch it.